Hey everybody, welcome back to Prince's Friend Exploring Music Through Prince. Today, we're getting it under the wire, but we actually have our yearly Prince Madness that we do every March. This year, instead of having a bunch of guests and whatever, it's gonna be personal again. It's gonna be me and you again. It's gonna be wonderful. We're gonna get together. You guys are gonna get mad at me from some of my choices, I'm sure. Happens every year, but I'm keeping it low key this year. It's gonna be good. The theme this year, we did albums last year. We've done first and lasts and whatnot. This year though is love versus sex. And what I did is I posted on all of my social medias. One day I said, hey, what's everybody's favorite love songs from Prince? And then another day I said, hey, what's everybody's favorite sex songs from Prince? And unbeknownst to all of you, I was using that to generate the songs that are ended up on this list. And of course, there were a lot of repeats, so there were a couple of slots where I got to put in some that maybe people didn't think of or whatever. And I basically was able to get 32 sex songs, 32 love songs, and I threw them all into a randomizer and made this bracket, love versus sex. So I guess we're going to find out which one wins in the end, love or sex. I guess we'll see what happens. Now, one thing I did ask last year was whether, because before I was splitting it up into part one and part two, because they were kind of long videos. They were like, 30, 40 minutes for me to get through about half of it, and 30, 40 minutes to get through the second half of it. And I had asked last year, hey, this was a really long video. Did you guys enjoy kind of going through the whole thing all at once? Or did you want me to split it up? And y'all said, just do the whole thing. So this year, it's going to just be one long video instead of two separate videos. But what that means is that this is going to be a long one. So strap in, and we're going to get started on bracket number one. Of course, now before I jump into my actual choices, it should be noted that you can download a copy of this bracket from the description of the video. You can grab it for yourself and follow along if you want. Go along with me. Make sure to put into the comments whether you hate my choices. I believe this is also going to be put up as a premiere, so you can also throw it over into the chat, and I'll be there kind of hanging out with you in the chat as well. So let's get started. The first face-off is a love versus sex. Funny enough, sometimes there'll be love versus love, sex versus sex, but love versus sex are the ones I want anyway. And I have I Feel For You versus Come. For me, this is kind of an easy choice. I Feel For You, great song from early in Prince's career. I do like it as a love song. It's kind of a upbeat, I feel for you. Although that was more the Shaka Khan version that I just sang. But Come is just like, come on, Come has to win that face off. It's just a cooler, just a sexier song than the love song. Obviously it's sexier than the love song because it's the sex song. But but all in all, I think I prefer Come to I Feel For You. It was later in his career anyway. It was the 90s. I'm a 90s guy. So Come wins the first face off. That's an easy one. The second face-off, Shh versus She Gave Her Angels. And this is actually kind of a difficult one because I think She Gave Her Angels is a beautiful love song. Like, it's an amazing, amazing song. But it just, when you put it up against just the raw, just like, of Shh, like, you just can't. Like just the drum solo alone is just amazing. Although, the guitar solo in She Gave Her Angels is really good. Gold Experience usually ends up winning in my book most of the time. So I'm actually going to give that one to Shh. I feel like it is the stronger of the two songs. So far, two love versus sexes, and both times the sex has won. I guess we'll see what happens with that. The next one is Forever in My Life versus Space. Now, Space is also from the Come album, so interesting. I guess I had both of those on here. Space is a good song, but if you compare it to Forever in My Life, Forever in My Life is one of those like cornerstone Prince songs, the ones that like I feel like that's gonna be a hard one to beat. I guess we'll see where it goes from there. I'm definitely gonna say that love will win over sex this time around. Forever in My Life, marriage song, true love song, love it. So Forever in My Life wins that one. 18 and over versus Extraordinary. And not everybody will probably know Extraordinary or 18 and over, I guess, if you don't have the Vault or Crystal Ball. Both of these kind of are on those kind of off albums that aren't widely known if you're not, like us. But 18 and over is it's a lot of fun. 18 and over. Like, that's just a good song. Extraordinary is really good too, though. Extraordinary. Da, 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 da. Yeah. I just love kind of going through them in my head now. I'm gonna give it to 18 and over. I think mostly just because it's fun. It's like more fun, Extraordinary, great song. I don't know. I feel like there was a reason why it was not on a major album. It ended up on the Vault. 18 and over gets that one. The next setup is When She Comes. Specifically, when I put it on here, I'm not thinking the Hit and Run Phase 2. I'm thinking the Welcome to America version. So When She Comes, it's on here as, I guess, as a sex song. So this time is sex versus sex, because the other song it's going up against is When I Lay My Hands on You. I like it. I like When She Comes. I love the simplicity of it, just kind of Prince, layering his vocals in there. When I Lay My Hands on You, it's one of those weird songs that it was a great song on that album, The Chocolate Invasion. But for me, it's not one of his strongest, but I do like it. I mean, it was a good song. But I would give it to When She Comes. The next one is one I was kind of dreading this one. There's a couple on here that I was dreading when I was doing them. Insatiable versus Te Amo Corazon. I love Te Amo Corazon. It's just a really, really sweet song, but Insatiable has to win that one. It has, there's too much just like rawness to Insatiable that you can't refute it, right? Like it's just I wish I could scream like Prince, but ow. So Insatiable gets that one. I feel like that one was a little on the easy side, even though I really do love Te Amo Corazon. The next one is Blue Light versus Rapapco de Zipa. And as anybody who might, know me from the channel, Blue Light is actually not one of my favorite songs. So this is a sex versus a sex. Rapapco de Zipa, of course, being one of my all-time favorites because it was one of those that I had to like track down. I had heard it on the Striptease like soundtrack, like in the movie, and I was like, "That's Prince!" And it took me like years before I was able to actually get Rapapco de Zipa on Crystal Ball, But Rapapco de Zipa is just an amazing song. I wish it wasn't relegated to like a soundtrack or something else. Like I feel like that one could have been on an album, just like the imagery and everything in that. Blue Light is like, it's a good song. It's definitely not the strongest song on that album, and I wouldn't say that it's one of Prince's strongest songs in general. So, Rapapco de Zipa beats Blue Light. The last matchup of bracket 1 is Pretzel Body Logic versus 319. This is another one of those that I was like, no, because Pretzel Body Logic, man, I love that song. That is, I just love that song so much. It's like, it's so rockin', it's so raw, and I freaking just love that song. But 319, man, 319, it's so good. It was like, the pinnacle of like 90s Prince, like, whew, Gold Experience, just crazy Gold Experience stuff. And it's unfair to have Gold Experience stuff on here, I think. But 319 wins it. I think Pretzel Body Logic put up a really, really good fight, and Pretzel Body Logic would have beat a lot of the others that we've gone through so far. Pretzel Body Logic probably would have won a bunch of these, but against 319, I can't say it. I can't say that it wins. So I'm going to say 319 wins that one. So we're going to finish up bracket 1 before we move on to bracket 2. So that brings us back to Come Now versus Shh. Oh, oh, it hurts. Oh, this one's bad. Come, again, like slow, sexy, grooving, but has like that moment of like, intensity with the drum solo and the guitar and everything. Then there's Come that is slow and sexy and cool and has that same kind of vibe, has, sax in it instead of a guitar solo. There aren't any like big thumping moments, but it's a contender. Like the both of them, they're putting up a good fight against each other. I think because they have the same energy except for Shh and it's like drum intenseness. I'm gonna give it to Shh just because I feel like it brings it to that next level with having that intensity in it. So Shh beats Come. Then we have Forever in My Life versus 18 and Over, and what can I say? Forever in My Life is gonna end up winning that one because 18 and Over is a fun song. Prince is rapping on it. It's kind of goofy and fun, but it's gonna be really hard to beat Forever in My Life. All right, so now we have When She Comes versus Insatiable. When She Comes is a great song. I'm gonna give it to the screams of Insatiable though. When She Comes is like, it's cool, and again, like there's a lot more layering and whatnot in that one, but Insatiable has like the tick-tock clock kind of beat. I don't know. It's sex versus sex or love versus love, one of the two. I'm gonna give it to Insatiable. It could be nostalgia talking, who knows? But I feel like Insatiable just wins against When She Comes. And the last one is Rapopka da Zippa versus 319. Yet another matchup that it hurts for me to have to pick from, but I'm gonna give it to 319 just because Rapopka da Zippa, again, it wasn't an official song. It was kind of this offshoot thing. I have that nostalgia and that memory of having to hunt it down, but 319 was served to me on a silver platter, and I freaking loved it. Especially, seeing him at the, the 1995 American Music Awards, performing it on stage. Sucking on a lollipop, chewing gum at the same time. Prince was in like all his glory on 319. It's just too good. It's just too good. And then, of course, that brings us to the final matchup of bracket 1, which is Forever in My Life versus 319. What? How can that be the choice? That's stupid. So yeah. I'm gonna say that it will be it's gonna be Forever in My Life. 319 again, really, really good song, and I feel like up against what it fought against, it was an easy kind of choice. But putting it up against Forever in My Life, no, I think Forever in My Life has to win my bracket number 1. So Love has won the first bracket. Okay, I feel like I'm making good time on these. They're not as hard choices as I was expecting. Before we jump into bracket 2, don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, all that jazz. And if you want to support the channel, you can join the Patreon or become a YouTube member by hitting the join button underneath this video. All right, let's jump into bracket number 2. And bracket number 2 also starts with Love versus Sex. We're starting with 1000 Hugs and Kisses versus Underneath the Cream. So Underneath the Cream was actually on my top 10 sexy songs. So you should think that I would like this one, but I really, really, really like 1000 Hugs and Kisses. So I'm actually going to give it to 1000 Hugs and Kisses. It just has even just that, it's kind of like you got the yeah, you just got that feel of it. Underneath the Cream, I don't know, it almost kind of can get lost in itself, which I think is probably the point of the song. But if we're looking for standouts, we're trying to find reasons to compare the two. These two songs are completely different. So I'm gonna give it to 1,000 Hugs and Kisses. It's definite for me. That's definitely the winner. The next one is The One You Want to See versus Beautiful, Loved, and Blessed, which was an interesting matchup because aren't those all, I think those are off of the same album. Uh, so no, one's off of Planet Earth and one's off of 3121. Never mind. So anyway, The One You Want to See, really good song. It's upbeat. There was a video for it, which I really enjoyed, with the twins dancing and whatnot. Very colorful. Beautiful, Loved, and Blessed. I don't know. It always came off as kind of cheesy. I don't even know if I would have necessarily put it on the bracket, but again, I didn't make up the majority of the brackets. You guys did. So if I would put these two songs against each other, I would say The One You Want to See should win. I love the line, I got lots of money and I want to spend it on you. I like stuff like that. Like, that's really good. The next one, okay, the next one is the one that you guys are going to get mad at. It's It versus Erotic City. There were a few of you who said It should be on here, but there were a billion of you who said Erotic City should be on the bracket. So this is actually Sex versus Sex here. And if we're going, like, straight off of like the hugeness that is, this bracket and how important this choice is, Erotic City is like a lot of people's like go-to for funk, a lot of people's go-to for sex, a lot of people's go-to for like party songs. Like, it's a lot of people's go-to. For me, because I'm the one doing this bracket right now, It actually is the superior song. It's like more simplistic musically. I love the arrangement of it so much that I have a similar arrangement in my song Here For You, my band Strays of the World. So like it is gonna win for me. There's just so much just like raw sexiness in that. For me, I'm gonna keep saying for me because I know so many of you are screaming at me at home right now or at work or on the toilet. I don't know where you guys are. So, but I'm gonna say It wins it for me. All right, this is the next one. You guys are definitely gonna be mad at me about this one. Do Me Baby, which was another one that like almost everybody was like, this is the pinnacle of Prince sex. Everybody loves it. This time it's versus Time. Now, of course, Time being off of Artificial Age, one of my very favorite Prince albums. This one was a hard one because Do Me Baby is kind of like what I was just saying. It's very raw, very sexy. Everybody loves it. But again, if you have followed the channel, you will know Do Me Baby doesn't do it for me. It's a great song, but I don't have that connection to it that I think a lot of people do have. Time, on the other hand, I love Time. It's such a like a cool kind of love song, and I think musically, Do Me Baby might win it, but I think substance-wise, I think Time gets it. So, I mean, this is a love versus sex, and I don't know, I'm feeling love in this comparison here, so I'm going to give it to Time. Okay, so now we have another love versus sex. We have Love Like Jazz versus Xannalee. Now, I talk about my stuff all the time, but Love Like Jazz was one of those songs that when I met my wife, I made a mixtape for her and gave it to her, and Love Like Jazz was on it, and she like fell in love with that song, and I think this song helped me, get my wife. So so it's one of those like really big things there, right? So I have a personal, deep personal connection to Love Like Jazz. Xannalee, sexy song, great like bluesy guitar riffs. I think Love Like Jazz is gonna definitely have to win over Xannalee, though. So that's my choice. So this is a tough one. The Most Beautiful Girl in the World versus Get Off. what?
What?
How, like, these are like two like 90s Prince bangers. Again, obviously one Sex, one Love, two very different songs. One is dancey, one is more of a ballad. Not even more of a ballad, it is a ballad. um Most Beautiful Girl in the World. Oh man, could you be? Um, you know what? I kind of need to give it to Get Off though. I feel like Get Off, there's just a lot more going on. Plus, it has that, amazing Prince scream at the beginning. Got some humor in there, some sex in there. Yeah. I'm gonna give it to Get Off. I think that one could have gone either way though. But I think I'm going to cement my choice today with Get Off. So the next lineup is also a Love versus Sex. The next two are both Love versus Sex. Tick Tick Boom versus Under the Cherry Moon. Ooh, that kind of rhymes. Tick Tick Boom, obviously borrowing like a Jimi Hendrix kind of riff, and it's really fun. And it's about, hey, I'm probably gonna come all over you, is the thing. Under the Cherry Moon, of course, being a really, really nice love song. One of my favorites ballads from Prince. It doesn't get nearly the amount of respect that I feel that it deserves as like a Prince piano song. I feel like it's because it's on an album, Parade, obviously, that it just has so many other like bangers on that album that I think it gets overlooked. But it is a really, really good song. But I'm gonna give it to Tick Tick Boom. Graffiti Bridge song, sexy, fun, vibrant. It's dancey. It's just that song for me. So I think I'm gonna give it to Tick Tick Boom. All right, and the last one is Girl versus With You, which was an interesting pairing. Again, you guys supplied the songs, and then I put it into a randomizer, so I didn't come up with the order of these or what was going to be put up against each other. That I didn't choose that. Otherwise, like, I would have set it up my way, so my song could have won. But but Girl versus With You is an interesting one. With You being from the Prince self-titled album, and Girl being a B-side. I'm gonna give it to With You, just because With You it's very sweet and I really like it. So I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna go with it. I'm just gonna give it to With You, and with that we finished the first round of bracket 2. So let's see what we have in round 2 of bracket 2. Looks like we have 1,000 Hugs and Kisses versus The One You Want to See. That's solid. That's like a solid matchup, right? Two songs later in Prince's career. One is more guitar centric. The other one's more kind of like slow and like more beat centric. I think for me, I would go with 1,000 Hugs and Kisses. I'm going to say that that's my winner. I keep looking down because this is where I actually did the bracket. It's on the paper here. I feel like 1,000 Hugs and Kisses, like, even when it was like, it was a beast, it was like a vault track a long time ago, before it was put on an actual album. I feel like it even then it had chops. And it just became even better when it was finally actually put on an album and fully produced and mixed and really like put out there. And it's such a strong song, and it's one of those songs that, like, for me as like a husband who stays at home with the kids, and I work from home, and I'm like, my wife has to go out to her job, like I just like, I feel this song so much. So I would say 1,000 Hugs and Kisses is going to win it versus The One You Want to See, which is also a good song. But The One You Want to See, and because this is two love songs versus each other, by the way, The One You Want to Sing is more about like pursuing somebody, whereas one is just like, we're together already and we're comfortable with each other, and like, I'm here for you. And I just like that more. So 1,000 Hugs and Kisses. The next one is It versus Time. That's a really good matchup too. Like, this whole bracket is really, really good stuff here. Oh, I gotta give it to It. It's Love versus Sex. Sex is winning again here. But Time Really, really good song. Him and Andy Allo kind of going back and forth. Really cute song. I really like it. But if we're gonna go with like the strongest song performance out of it, I think It has to take that. The next one is Love Like Jazz versus Get Off. And okay, yeah, I think when you're comparing, like, if we remove my personal connection to the song, Get Off is the better song. Love Like Jazz is an amazing song, but I mean, Get Off is just a super strong song, so I would give it to Get Off. Reluctantly, because I do love Like Jazz. And then the last matchup of round two is Tick Tick Boom versus With You. And yeah, I'm just gonna say it. Tick Tick Boom wins that. I feel like Prince just got better with time. Another Prince song, and so I would definitely say like Tick Tick Boom is like better constructed, uses like a sample but very creatively. Yeah, Sex Wins Against Love in this case as well. So Tick Tick Boom. For round three, we have 1,000 Hugs and Kisses versus It, and this one is a hard one. I actually, oh gosh, this one's a hard one. I'm gonna give it, as much as I love It, and I love like the grittiness of it and everything, I'm gonna give it to 1,000 Hugs and Kisses. I feel like It is such a contender, and it has so much connection to it. There's so much to that song that it is just like, I think it's gonna take a lot to beat 1,000 Hugs and Kisses. So I'm gonna give it to 1,000 Hugs and Kisses. It, I love you, It. You stood the test of time. You defeated two, but you just didn't win it in the end. I'm sorry, It. The next one is going to be Get Off versus Tick Tick Boom. And so here's the thing here is I love Tick Tick Boom. Again, Graffiti Bridge, that's my jam. I just freaking love it. But Get Off, Get Off has the dancing, it has the butt out of the pants, it has the line about ribs. It's got a lot going for it as well. I am going to give it to Get Off. So Get Off is going to end up, getting round two there, which of course brings us to the final matchup, and that is for 1,000 Hugs and Kisses versus Get Off. And I'm just going to go ahead and break some brains and some hearts here. I'm giving it to 1,000 Hugs and Kisses. I actually have kind of gone through both of these songs, and I kind of listened to both of them back to back when I was filling out this bracket here. And what I found is that 1,000 Hugs and Kisses has more replayability, if you will. Get Off has this like impact, right? Like it just kind of comes in and just like messes up the place. Whereas 1,000 Hugs and Kisses, I could literally just play it and I could put it on repeat and I could just listen to it over and over and over again. And I feel like there's something special to that as a song that I think has to catapult it above Get Off. So I'm going to say 1,000 Hugs and Kisses wins bracket number 2. And that, of course, means that Love has won the second bracket as well. Now, before we jump into bracket number 3, I did mention I have a musical project called Strays of the World, and I spend a lot of time working on this personal music project of mine called Strays of the World. I have constructed a ton of songs. I have it all over on its own YouTube channel. Definitely, please go check that out. I'm going to give you a little snippet of some of the songs here. You're better off alone. You're better off alone. You don't need people calling up your phone. Follow me, gonna save the world with this song. Burn your tongue, cause I am neon. I am neon. Shadow me, see the radiance. It dissolves once you look inside. I am neon. I am neon. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, go check out Strays of the World. You can go check out the YouTube channel. Obviously, there's a link to that in the description. Or we're on Spotify and Apple Music and all the junk. Go check out some of the music. Now we are going to do bracket number 3. Now, bracket number 3, strangely, ended up with a lot of love songs in it. Like a lot of love songs ended up in this one. So we're going to go through them and we're going to have a lot of fun. And let's start with Temptation versus Somewhere Here on Earth, Sex versus Love. Temptation, like uber rock song, tons of like attitude and just Prince like put his foot in that song, really, really good. However, Somewhere Here on Earth is one of those epic love songs. That one is such an epic one off of Planet Earth. I think it's going to be hard to beat that one. I don't know what it's going to be put up against, but Somewhere Here on Earth, it's got the trumpet on there. It's got that just like the really cool like falsetto delivery. Temptation's great. Temptation is wonderful. I love Around the World in a Day, and I love how the album ended. It had that, little back and forth with him and God at the end, love is more important than sex. So if God said that love is more important than sex, then love is going to beat sex this time. So Somewhere Here on Earth is going to win against Temptation. Next one is Dreamin' 'Bout You. That's from Emancipation, for anybody who doesn't know, versus Walk in Sand from 2010. I was actually very surprised. I thought I was going to have to put Walk in Sand on the list, but there were a few people who were like, actually, Walk in Sand, people be sleeping on Walk in Sand. I would agree. I think people sleep on the whole 2010 album in general, as I did as well. The first, decade of listening to it, I totally I wrote it off as just like, whatever. I don't even know what Prince was doing on this album. But it was sometime in 2020 that I listened to it, and then I listened to it again, and then I listened to it again, and all of a sudden I was sucked in, and I was like, oh my gosh, this album is amazing. However, Dreamin' 'Bout You is from Emancipation, one of my favorite Prince albums, and it's more like spoken word poetry, and then he sings the falsetto chorus. Like, I think he knocks the song out of the park, to be quite honest. So I think I'm gonna give it to Dreamin' 'Bout You. The next one, and I feel like this one's gonna hurt some of you 80s people. She's Always in My Hair versus Take Me With You. I don't even know what you are all gonna do. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give it to She's Always in My Hair. Again, if anybody hangs out here, you know that Take Me With You is not necessarily my favorite Prince song, especially not on record. Live, it's got a lot more energy and crowd participation sections and stuff like that. So like I get it there, like it makes a lot of sense there. On record, it's okay. Like, it has the drum, it's got that going for it. But I feel like She's Always in My Hair, even though it was a B-side, like it could have easily been on the album, and I think it surpasses some of the album stuff. So I would give it to She's Always in My Hair. That's just me. I don't know about you. We're going to go on to the next one because I don't want to belabor that. I feel like I've already hurt all of you enough with that pairing. And we're going to go with Friend, Lover, Sister, Mother, Wife versus Arms of Orion. I don't know. I feel like this one's kind of an easy one. Arms of Orion, as great as a song as it is, it's a little cheesy. It's a little like smarmy. It's a little predictable. It's got good stuff with it too, but if you compare it to Friend, Lover, Sister, Mother, Wife, which is like an amazing like proclamation of like eternal connection and love, even as like that's two love songs again, like going against each other. Like, how are you like, no, one is just a much bigger declaration of love. I will give it to Friend, Lover, Sister, Mother, Wife. Air, food, water, love of my life. I'm going to give it to that one. So the next one was an interesting one that I was going to not put it on there, but then somebody mentioned it. We did already have Space in an earlier bracket, in bracket 1, but now we're doing Space, the Universal Love remix, which to me is a completely different song, even though it uses the same beat as Space. And versus Diamonds and Pearls, though. So like, Diamonds and Pearls, really, really great song. Him and Rosie Gaines. She's repeating everything that he's saying with her amazing voice. It's very simple kind of melody and whatnot. I do like it. I would have to give it to Space Universal Love Remix. I've said it on several occasions that like I feel like Prince outdid himself with that song, and it's one of those songs that like I wonder what would have happened if he had taken those lyrics and put it with its own beat and its own melody and its own stuff, and then released it as its own song versus making it a B-side remix version of an existing song. I feel like that almost undercuts how good that song is. And Space Universal Love Remix, bam, definitely wins that one. The next one is Scandalous versus Head. This is another one that's going to hurt all of you. But for me, it was a pretty easy one. Scandalous wins it. Scandalous is an amazing song. Similar to Insatiable. I already did the versus video, Insatiable versus Scandalous. You should definitely check that one out. But Scandalous is... there were a lot of people who said, the Scandalous Sex Suite should be on there. And I'm like, I can't put... I said, what's everybody's favorite song? And there were a bunch of people who were like, the Scandalous Sex Suite. And it's just like, but that's a suite. Like, it's not one song. So I put Scandalous on here. I wasn't going to put the Rapture and the Crime and all that stuff on here too. So I just put Scandalous. I know all of you wanted that, but I can't make it justify it here. Although I did have Space and Space the Universal Love Remix, so maybe I'm breaking my own rules. Breaking the law, breaking the law. Anyway, Scandalous is great. Head, sexy song. This is also Sex versus Sex. Scandalous is a sexy song, and Head is a sexy song, and I feel like Scandalous is just the better song. I feel like Head is almost too playful, whereas Scandalous is like, that's like some serious sex right there. So yeah, I'm gonna give it to Scandalous. The next one is Tell Me How You Want to Be Done versus Breakfast Can Wait. Not even a competition. Breakfast Can Wait definitely wins that one. Breakfast Can Wait usually gets very far anytime it's on a bracket. I almost didn't put it on, but again, y'all suggested it. I think it was somebody on Instagram that suggested it. So it had to be on there because y'all said it. And then Tell Me How You Want to Be Done. The Continental is probably one of my favorite songs from the Love Symbol album, and that's obviously where Tell Me How You Want to Be Done came from initially. It was like tacked on to the end of that. I always felt like it took away from it. Like if they just ended it at the end of where the Continental section was, I think it would have been better. If we are then using instead the Crystal Ball version of Tell Me How You Want to Be Done, it works, it's good. A lot of people seem to love that. I would definitely, I'm giving it to Breakfast Can Wait. It's playful, it's sexy, it's funky. It has a chipmunk voice. It's got Princess Chipmunk voice in it. Breakfast Can Wait, definitely. The next one is Future Baby Mama versus Crucial. And this is a love versus love as well. I'm not using the Crucial alternate take, which would be more sex. I'm using the initial version that we got off of Crystal Ball. Future Baby Mama, I think I've said this before, like Future Baby Mama's like grown-up love, like I freaking love that song. Like it's that mature love. It's not I love you because you're so sexy and you're beautiful and I'll do anything. It's just like, yeah, no, I like you because like you don't like cause drama in my life. And sometimes that's freaking enough, right? Like, I don't need somebody who's super exciting all the time. Sometimes I just need somebody who I can chill with and who would make a good mom, So, I definitely Future Baby Mama. Crucial is good, but Crucial is like, it's just like, oh, love has got to be, it's just like, all right, dude, calm it down. Let's just, let's just chill and just be in love. It doesn't need to be like, Crucial. Oh, man. All right, so Future Baby Mama wins that one. So now we're going to go to round 2 of bracket 3. That's going to be Somewhere Here on Earth versus Dreaming About You. Again, I think Somewhere Here on Earth being as good of a song, as jazzy of a song as it is, Dreaming About You is I don't know, it's almost more experimental, more avant-garde because it's more spoken word poetry. Reminds me of Ingrid Chavez-y sort of feel as opposed to Somewhere Here on Earth, which is just so strong. And honestly, like it has does the three verses. Not a lot of songs do three verses anymore. I freaking love that song because it's like, oh, you want more? Well, here's some more, and I think, yes, please give me more. So I would give it to Somewhere Here on Earth, which is the acronym on my paper here is SHOE, which I found very funny. The next matchup is She's Always in My Hair versus Friend, Lover, Sister, Mother, Wife. This one is a tough one, I feel, because She's Always in My Hair is very strong. Like, that's got a lot going for it. But it's a I feel like, and that's part of what I've learned about listening to Prince is that like even he learned going forward that like a lot of what music is like where you don't play the song as well. Like She's Always in My Hair is just good from front to back, but I feel like Friend, Lover, Sister, Mother, Wife kind of takes you on more of a journey and kind of goes in a lot of different directions and has pauses and has climaxes and crescendos and all kinds of stuff. So I would give it to Friend, Lover, Sister, Mother, Wife. There's again, it's two love songs versus each other. I don't think either of them are bad. But if I had to choose right now, Friend, Lover, Sister, Mother, Wife. Yes, I will give it to that. The next one is Space Universal Love Remix versus Scandalous. And I think all of you will think that it is quite scandalous of me, but I would give it to Space Universal Love Remix. Scandalous is it's really, really sexy song, and I think it's probably one of the pinnacles of Prince's career in terms of sexy songs, even though there's 31 other ones on this list, and some of them are really, really good as well. But I feel like Scandalous, I think it stands almost in a class of its own, and it's just like, it's a super, super good song. But Space Universal Love Remix, again, I feel like he outdid himself on that song, and I think if I had to put it up against each other, yeah, Space Universal Love Remix, I could listen to that song all day. It's just really, really good. And then the last matchup would be Breakfast Can Wait versus Future Baby Mama. I feel like both of them, they have very similar feels to it, right? To each other. So then it becomes kind of a, which one do I just prefer? I wouldn't even say that there's like a lot that they differ in. So if I had to choose one, I would have to go for, I guess, the one that's more funky, and I would give it to Breakfast Can Wait. So Breakfast Can Wait, I think, wins that. Awesome. That was round 2. Round 3 of bracket 3 here. Whew, we're getting down to it, guys. We're getting down to it. Somewhere Here on Earth versus Friend, Lover, Sister, Mother, Wife. Whew. I feel like this is She's Always in My Hair versus Take Me With You, but for me. This is my version of that. I would give it to just because, oh man, I'm gonna give it to wow, Somewhere Here on Earth. And I feel like a lot of it is like its delivery, right? Its delivery. Friend, Lover, Sister, Mother, Wife is very, it's like the end of an orchestra. Like it's this huge, huge song. And those like giant declarations of love, I feel like they definitely have their place. But I feel like if you can show your love without needing to be like super crazy and over the top, I feel like that has so much impact, right? Like I feel equal amounts of love from both of these songs, but one is going to such far lengths to make me feel that, whereas the other one is more in the delivery of it. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Somewhere Here on Earth is gonna win against friend, lover, sister, mother, wife. That was a tough one though. That one is like literally. I think if I feel like it could have gone either way. I don't think either of them is necessarily better. But again, I have painted myself into a corner, and I made a scenario where I had to choose one. I will choose Somewhere Here on Earth. The other matchup in round 3 is Space Universal Love Remix versus Breakfast Can Wait. And I think for all of the reasons that I've already said, I'm going to give it to Space Universal Love Remix, which of course brings our final face-off here in bracket 3 to Somewhere Here on Earth versus Space Universal Love Remix. And I feel like I've said a lot about both of these songs. I am going to give it to Somewhere Here on Earth. And I feel like it definitely deserves its spot over Space Universal Love Remix, because Space Universal Love Remix, I don't know, I feel like it didn't get the respect that it deserved from Prince. I feel like it needed its own beat, it needed its own thing. Somewhere Here on Earth got that. Shoe got that. So I'm gonna give it to Shoe. It's weird because on my paper I just wrote Shoe over and over again, so I keep wanting to say it as Shoe, but it's Somewhere Here on Earth. That's like Killing Your Darlings, though. Like, literally, I'd be okay if Space Universal Love Remix won this one as well. I would, but I'm gonna give it to Somewhere Here on Earth again because I have to pick one of them. Okay, so that was bracket number 3. Before we jump into bracket number 4, if you are loving this, don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, so you get notifications and all that stuff. Don't forget to share Prince's Friends videos. That's honestly one of the most crucial things. It's crucial. Sharing's got to be. Anyway, sharing is a big deal. You sharing this on your socials with 1 person, 2 people, 3 people, that brings it from us just doing this together to us doing this together and you bringing others in, and we grow and we get bigger. Seriously, sharing is a big deal. So hit that little share button underneath the video and share it somewhere. Who knows? Share it via text. It doesn't have to be public. Just do it. Let's get into bracket number 4. This one has some good songs in it. This one has some really, really good songs in it. First up is going to be Pink Cashmere versus I Love You in Me. A love versus a sex. Here's my thing about Pink Cashmere. Pink Cashmere, good song. I feel like Prince, I don't know, it didn't feel like Prince like gave it a ton of thought. I feel like it's one of those songs that Prince like probably like just threw out. Like it was just like, hey, here's a song, and then like it was done. It didn't really seem like it needed a ton, except for the guitar solo. The guitar solo is really dope. Whereas I Love You and Me, I feel like it's like such a creative concept. Oh man, there's so much going for I Love You and Me. It's more simplistic musically. It gets its point across, right? I'm gonna give it to I Love You and Me. I think I Love You and Me is a bonkers good song. So I Love You and Me is gonna win against Pink Cashmere. I do like Pink Cashmere, but I wouldn't say it's like one of my like all-time favorites or anything like that. The next one is International Lover versus When Two Are in Love. I feel like this one is a hard one gonna be a hard one for some people. So this is a sex one, International Lover, versus When Two Are in Love is a love song, for our purposes of the brackets. I'm gonna give it to International Lover. I feel like both of them are very playful, and I feel like both of them, I don't know, they feel very similar to each other. They're kind of like, one is explaining sex, the other one is kind of explaining what a sexual experience with Prince would be like. I like it though. I do like the juxtaposition of these two songs. I feel like both of them complement each other in a weird way. So, but if I had to like give it a final vote, I would give it to International Lover. I feel like people like International Lover, but I feel like people like it for its for its jokiness and for its puns. But like if you really dig into International Lover, like musically, it is also just an amazing song. Like there's a lot going on in International Lover. I think it deserves more respect than it already gets because people already love it. But I feel like it deserves even more respect based on its composition and its arrangement and all that. Oh man, like there's a lot going on there. And it's stuff that maybe if you don't make music yourself, maybe you don't even pick up on a lot of the subtleties of International Lover. I'm gonna give it to International Lover though. There you go. I'll stop. I'll stop rambling on about International Lover. The next one is another love versus sex. The One versus Pheromone. The One. Actually, I just did the review for New Power Soul, where the One is from, and I've said it on there, and I think I also said it on the top 10, love songs. The One is probably it's probably like my number two love song from Prince, like in general, and of course the number one is about to come up here in a bit. But it's yeah, the One has to win it, like especially over Pheromone, which is a sexy, sexy song. But I feel like this is a slam dunk in terms of the One. So the One wins against Pheromone. Another love versus sex, The Greatest Romance Ever Sold versus Rock Hard in a Funky Place. I'm gonna give it to The Greatest Romance Ever Sold. I just love the way that Prince constructed that song. A lot of the vocal layering in that song and the like the subtleties of the guitar kind of playing in the background. Yeah, and then obviously you have the like the scratching and stuff. I don't know. I feel like there's just a lot going on. There's a lot going for that song. And Rock Hard in a Funky Place is good. It's from the Black Album. It's a good song, but I feel like it doesn't really contend musically or even lyrically with Greatest Romance Ever Sold. So I'm gonna give it to Greatest Romance Ever Sold. So that's 4. We're almost done with all the round ones, guys. The next one is this one's a terrible one. Okay, so it's Adore, which again, 1,000,000,001 of you said Adore needs to be on the list, versus She Loves Me for Me. So when I said that like my number one was about to come up, that's it, right? She Loves Me for Me. That's my number one Prince love song, right? And there's so much going on in that song. Adore is a lot of people's favorite love song, and again, 1,000,000,001. But this is the thing I love about these brackets, guys, is that in any other case, Adore probably would have won against the majority of these songs. But against She Loves Me for Me, I can't do it. She Loves Me for Me has to win this. And I'm sure a lot of you are probably saying the exact opposite. Adore has to win because She Loves Me for Me isn't as good. But like, listen to the two of them back to back. Listen to the two of them back to back, and you'll see why. Like, there's a reason why She Loves Me for Me is my all-time favorite love song from Prince. Like, that is just amazing. And like, the One is number 2, and probably Adore is probably like number 3, right? But like, Adore would lose to the One and would lose to She Loves Me for Me. And I'm like looking at the list here, and there's maybe a couple of others that Adore would have lost to, but definitely this one it loses to She Loves Me for Me. So She Loves Me for Me wins that one. The next one is A Love versus Sex. This is one of the other ones that I said Adore might have lost to. This matchup is Darling Nikki versus Call My Name. Darling Nikki, a huge Purple Rain song. Notice that's the second of the Purple Rain songs. I did not steer away from putting Purple Rain songs on the bracket. But honestly, Darling Nikki, that is an epic, epic, sexy song. It's the one that, was part of the Terrible 10 or whatever it was called. Yeah, that started the parents' advisory stickers and whatnot. Like, there's a reason why Darling Nikki is Darling Nikki. But if you put it up against Call My Name, that's probably number 3, number 4, I guess, probably, since I said it would probably beat Adore. But it's probably number 3 then, pushing Adore to number 4. Um, that's super high up on my list of love songs. Like, oh, Call My Name, come on, Call My Name. Call, call my name. Like, it's just, like, just hearing just the opening lick. Is it boom, 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 dun? Oh, so much. There's just so much in that song. I freaking love that song. So I'm gonna say Call My Name is gonna beat Darling Nikki. I don't know how that's gonna happen on your guys' brackets, but on mine, there you go. Two more. Let's Pretend We're Married versus One Kiss at a Time. So a love versus, actually, this is a sex versus sex. So this is an interesting one. Let's Pretend We're Married is, oh man. When I first got 1999, I listened to Let's Pretend We're Married like a lot of times. It was the one that I had mostly on repeat, like that one and like Automatic. I had those 2 songs on repeat because I feel like they're just both just super strong songs on there, and both of them were singles, and both of them get some love, but they are overshadowed by Delirious and Let's Go Crazy and 1999, and I feel like they are almost forgotten. But I mean, definitely, Let's Pretend We're Married is a contender. One Kiss at a Time, though, One Kiss at a Time from Emancipation, again, that one is just, oh, I said, oh, this is what you wanted. Like, there's a lot going for that song. It's more jazzy, more sensual. That's it. It's more sensual, right? Versus Let's Pretend We're Married, which is just like, oh, what looks the taste out of your mouth? I think I have to give it to the sensual side of Prince. So I'm gonna give it to One Kiss at a Time, and not I'm gonna fuck the taste out of your mouth. The last major first round setup is going to be Sexy Dancer versus Damn You. And Sexy Dancer is good. I feel like Sexy Dancer, because that was actually one that a lot of you said, well, obviously the sexy song is going to be Sexy Dancer. And I'm like, I mean, it's, I want your body, sexy dancer, dance. You know, it's like, it's that. Honestly, I feel like there's almost not enough of Sexy Dancer to go against, like, the behemoth of Damn You. Because Damn You is like, ooh, you know, that one's just such a good song. So much, like, lyrical and, like, musical, singing wise. Like, Damn You is just such a good song. Off of the Love Symbol album. Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Damn You over Sexy Dancer. For the reasons that I just said. I'm not gonna repeat myself. Let's go on to let's go on to round 2. Round 2 is International Lover versus I Love You and Me. I'm gonna say International Lover. I feel like the minimalisticness of I Love You and Me was a highlight against Pink Cashmere, but against International Lover, which is actually also, like, simultaneously also a little bit more stripped down than some of the other Prince productions. If you're now comparing them to each other lyrically, the arrangement and all of that stuff, International Lover has to win that. So International Lover, I don't even feel like that was necessarily a hard choice. Like, that's a pretty easy one for me. The next one is The One versus Greatest Romance Ever Sold. The One is going to win that one. Greatest Romance Ever Sold, too, has a bit of cynicism in it. And when we get to the rave into the Joy Fantastic, or unto, when we get to the rave unto the Joy Fantastic review, I'm going to talk a lot more about that. But it's like, The Greatest Romance Ever Sold is great musically, lyrically. It's like, it's about love, but it's also a little cynical of love. A lot of it because of what's happening with that album. So we'll get into that, but I'm going to give it to The One. The next one is She Loves Me for Me versus Call My Name. Now, here's the craziness, is that when I was doing the brackets, I listened to the two of them back to back. And even though She Loves Me for Me is at the top, the tippy top of my list of love songs from Prince, listening to them back to back, I kind of have to give it to Call My Name. I feel like it's now, because now it's like I have to take away like my personal love for each of them, right? She Loves Me for Me was another one of those that was on a mixtape that I gave to my wife. Call My Name is one of those songs that like you can feel Prince, Prince's heart on that. And same thing with She Loves Me for Me. But if you strip that away, you start looking more at it musically, compositionally, arrangement wise, lyrically. Let's take lyrics wise, right? They're both a little bit playful, but I feel like one is very everyday love, whereas the other one is more brand new love. We're at the height of our love. So I don't know. It's weird, but I think I'm going to give it to Call My Name just because, again, I listened to them back to back, and it's even hard to put my finger on because She Loves Me for Me is like my all-time favorite love song from him, and yet I can't get it out of my brain that Call My Name needs to win this, which is very, very weird, and it's off-putting, and kind of mad at myself, but I'm gonna
slap yourself.
Which puts the last one at One Kiss at a Time versus Damn You. I'm gonna give it to Damn You because Damn You is, I feel like it's just a cooler song. I feel like it's kind of like you take a love song and Damn You is kind of like the darker side of that love, whereas the One Kiss at a Time is more bright and kind of colorful, is what I'll say, even though One Kiss at a Time is here as a sex song, but still. I'm going to give it to Damn You. So I'm going to give it to Damn You. Which brings our third round picks to International Lover versus The One. The One. Again, I feel like with The One and the fact that, the song is less about what I'm gonna be and more what I ain't gonna be, so there's definitely, that's a different approach to a song that not every person, not every lyricist can do. It shows Prince's chops as a songwriter. I also feel like The One just, it adds more imagery, and it's got that really great like sitar bass line, and I mean it's Jesus Christ. It's just, there's just, The One is just, I feel like it's like heads and tails above International Lover. As much as I love International Lover, I will give it to The One. And then of course that puts Call My Name versus Damn You. And for all of the reasons that I've said with Call My Name will win. Which of course brings me to this terrible, terrible matchup, which is The One versus Call My Name. And so when I was filling out the bracket, I did the same thing that I did with She Loves Me for Me. And even though the One is number 2 on my list, as I claim, Call My Name is just the stronger song. Maybe I don't have as much of a personal connection to it. Maybe I don't prefer it as much. That's why it's number 3 instead of number 2. Although 2 and 3, I mean, those could be swapped at any moment. I'm going to give it to Call My Name. Call My Name beats The One. I feel like it's like the ultimate, it's the ultimate show of love, for Prince. And it's craziness. It's craziness. So of course, now we are to our final 4. And I would like to point out that our final 4 ended up with no sex in the final 4. All 4 of the final 4 songs are love songs. So the first matchup in the final 4 is Forever in My Life versus 1,000 Hugs and Kisses. And that is, I feel like that's an easy choice. I love 1,000 Hugs and Kisses. I feel like it's every day. I feel like I have a connection to it. But when Forever in My Life comes on, I sing along to every word. I love the production mistake of having the backing vocals come earlier. I just love everything about Forever in My Life. So Forever in My Life is going to win the first matchup of the final 4 against 1,000 Hugs and Kisses. The second matchup of the final 4 is Somewhere Here on Earth versus Call My Name. And Call My Name. I'm going to give it to Call My Name. I don't know why. Maybe it's the mood I'm in today, but Call My Name is kind of the ultimate Prince song right now. It's in my brain. I don't know why it's winning. It's from Musicology. I guess I should point that out. Maybe that's it. I don't know. If Musicology wins a lot of stuff on these brackets, and maybe there's a reason for that. But I'm gonna give it to Call My Name. It doesn't have a trumpet, but Call My Name is just an amazing song. I'm gonna give it to Call My Name, which makes the final face-off Forever in My Life versus Call My Name. And this one is super, super tough because I know that I've been saying like, oh, my top 5 and all that stuff. I skipped Forever in My Life, apparently. Forever in My Life, it easily contends with that number 1. So it's probably number 2, shoving a couple of those other ones. So it's probably like tied for number 1 with She Loves Me for Me. Who knows? Maybe I don't really know my top 5. I really, really love Forever in My Life though. When I was going through and I was like, let me listen to Forever in My Life. Let me listen to Call My Name. Let me listen to Forever in My Life. Let me listen to Call My Name. I listened to each of them 3 times, back to back. And what I found when I was doing it was that Forever in My Life, lyrically, is probably just this giant song, right? It's this giant declaration of love. In my review of this album, Sign of the Times, I also said that it can almost be a declaration of love to your partner or to God. And that also is kind of an appealing aspect of the song. So there's that. But when I was listening to Call My Name, it also has some amazing lyrics going for it. I don't think that there's any confusion. It's not talking about God. It is talking about your partner. And it throws in some conspiracy theories about, the government tapping your phone and stuff like that. Although that's not technically a conspiracy theory. They actually do tap our phones. That notwithstanding, I feel like it also is pretty strong lyrically. So if the lyrics are off of the table, let's go music. Forever in My Life is boom, 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 la, 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 la. Boom, boom, boom. So it's that, right? Do we commend Prince on being able to make an amazing song with so little, the minimalism of it? It's kind of a like a throbbing tom and like some snaps and a little bit of background vocals and some la la las? Or is it a hindrance to it because Prince on Call My Name has just an amazing like orchestration. It has that first pre-chorus that definitely doesn't show up again, which is I love that in songs. This kind of thing that makes it very different from all the other songs. It's not super straightforward. It goes in a lot of different directions. Musically, it has everything that you could ever want. The drums from Blackwell are great. Rhonda on the bass. It's got like so many different things going for it, and they all mesh together so well. So is that a plus for Call My Name? Is it a minus for Forever in My Life? Do those cancel each other out? I did remark on the arrangement of Call My Name, whereas Forever in My Life is very straightforward in its arrangement. It's like where do you go with this, right? So with all of that said, and obviously with this being the huge caveat of this is where we are now based on the choices I've made leading up to here, and if these choices were in a different order, in a different bracket and all that stuff, we could have maybe ended up with different songs here. But I am going to give it to Call My Name. Call My Name is the winner of the 2023 Prince Madness from Prince's Friend. And we do this is that winners they're not allowed to come back up into the brackets again, so it's not like next year Call My Name will win again. But it's super exciting to do these, and I'm glad that you all have fun with these. But Call My Name I feel like just deserves the win. But I want to hear what you guys all came up with as your final 4 and who ended up winning it. I want to know. I also found it very interesting that I ended up with 4 love songs in the end of the bracket, and I'm so curious to know how many of you ended up with 4 sex songs. I think that tells us where our brains are, right? But don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification so you always know when Prince's Friend puts out a new video. I have been a little bit slower on releasing videos recently. A lot of that is due to work. My job has picked up considerably, but obviously I wasn't going to miss Prince Madness in March, obviously. Also, don't forget to go check out my music, Strays of the World. You can go to the YouTube channel or just look up Strays of the World on all of the different streaming platforms. It's all there. I'm already working on a 3rd album, so pretty great stuff. Prince inspired me to make music, even though it doesn't sound anything like Prince. Don't forget to hit join if you want to support the channel under this video, or go to patreon.com/princessfriend and become a patron there. Otherwise, may live see the dawn. I love you all, and I will see you in the next video. Hope you've enjoyed this premiere. Bye.